End of the day, we're going to perform for the school. So this was a big deal. We're on our knees, like, hey, that's the end of the show. We finished our big number. And they're like, boo! It's just anarchy. Boo! Just madness. Let me set the stage here. This is Corning Free Academy. This is a middle school that's been around for what feels like 100 years. People used to say it was a bomb shelter during the Cold War. I feel like every school kind of has this undertone that it used to be a prison or is designed by a prison architect, but this has had a lot of different lives. And Corning as a town, just to kind of give you some references, kind of a unique place where it's about 8 to 10,000 people. Corning Inc. Its headquarters are there, and so they bring in a lot of international engineers and researchers to be a part of their team. And so there's this, top 50 company in the world headquartered here, and then townies and farmers. There's like both of those worlds colliding in this middle school. And so it's Christmas break. It's a shortened week or a shortened day at least. I remember it was like a Friday. Everybody gets out at 1. And just as tradition was, a lot of classes would have candy and cookies and snacks, and there's very little learning going on. It was like, let's watch The Grinch. Let's watch The Grinch for 6 periods. It's like, hey, we already watched The Grinch in gym class. It's like, okay, well, we're going to watch it in music class too. Okay. Like, we're not doing anything. Kids are insane. End of the day, the school play is going to perform, and we're going to perform for the school. So this was a big deal. We've been practicing for probably 2.5, 3 months. It's a big commitment for a middle schooler. You're going multiple times a week after school to practice. So a few things to note about this particular play. What always happens prior to the start of the play is the theater director, Mr. L, will come out and he'll tell everyone, this show you're about to see has been put on entirely by middle schoolers. Everything that you're about to witness is 100% middle schoolers, almost as a way to, when things go wrong, he's relieving himself of the responsibility of saying, "What did you expect? Don't blame me." Like, of course, it went wrong. He would just lose his patience and then just say, "The play's off. It's over. Everybody out. I don't find a phone. Someone has a phone. Find a phone, use the school's phone, get out of here." All the new kids would always be like, "Oh my god, the play's over." And then all the seasoned people who've been there before is like, "He does this every practice." This is how he routinely ends practice, is he cancels the entire play. The next day, never the right people are there. He's like, "Why aren't they here?" He's like, we're like, "Well, because you canceled the play. They didn't realize that you weren't being serious. So they didn't show up." It's like, oh my god, you kids, you're the worst group of kids I've ever had. It's like, well, don't you? Okay, I don't need to. Every year they give me the same line, even though I had a different cop part in each one. But I'd be like, "I'm taking you to the Slammer, the Big House, the Hooskow, the Joint, the Pokey, the Crossbar Hotel, the Stony Lonesome. I'm taking you to jail, buddy." As we get on one knee, we do our big finale song. We're on our knees, like, hey, that's the end of the show. We finished our big number. We got our jazz hands going, like, hey, baby, what do you think of that art? You kids, sorry, you feel cultured? You like theater? And they're like, boo! It's just anarchy. Boo! Just madness. These kids are just, it was like we released the hounds and people are getting out of their seats. People are breaking seats. This is a very old theater. People start breaking seats. They start tugging on the curtains.
We had a future Broadway star in the cast, but
Oh, really? And imagine what thick skin she built in our middle school.
that's true.
Learning how to play. She then goes to the New York Theater. She's like, "Oh my gosh, they clap every time." There was only, from my memory, 5 to 6 teachers. Like, it's the end of the day. They bring in a certain number of classes that can fit in there, and it's just mayhem. It's just people between, and nobody could handle it. They started like kids. I just remember one kid, Chris, the one who put the paperclip into the outlet. He stands up and boos. Teachers start pulling him away. It's like a Vietnam flashback where they're taking it, for every one general or is like 2 medics to like take away the important people. The rabble rousers are getting pulled out. So as there's less teachers in the room, more chaos is going. I'm assuming from the principal's view, he's having a very nice casual day, enjoying some hot chocolate. And then maniac kids are being dragged in. Kids started grabbing on the curtains. I think even, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody tried to close the curtains to end the
Well,
show.
the curtain got stuck. We couldn't open it, and they started. It's the one time they applauded because they thought the show was over. There was a guy who was, I think he was making it worse actually, because he was hanging from the rope that would open it, and like his full body weight, and it was just making like all the connections.
The knots even tighter.
Yeah, even tighter.
Even the nice kids were booing, you know? Like, it wasn't just like, "Oh, the troublemakers." It was like every child full was like, "Oh, we finally could just be like animals." It was just a lot of chaos for and it just seemed normal. But now the more time goes on, I'm like, "This is nuts. I don't think any of this is allowed anymore." Is there anything I may have missed from
No, I mean, except that happened every year.